Hey guys, here's something you, your clients, friends, families, co-workers all need to know about moving forward. So we all know that the Mortgage Debt Forgiveness Act is set to expire, and so far we have yet to hear otherwise from Washington. So here's the deal. And we need your guys' feedback on this, and by the way guys, let it be known, we're not CPAs, this is basically just a PSA. Okay, so as it sits, when one completes a short sale or a foreclosure, the bank sends out what's called a cancellation of debt. What's a cancellation of debt? Well, here it is.
So when you borrow money from a lender and the lender later cancels or forgives the debt, you may have to include the canceled amount in your income taxes. Now, depending on the circumstances, it can vary, but when you borrowed the money, you were not required to include the loan proceeds as income because, hey, you had an obligation to repay the lender. When the obligation is subsequently forgiven, the amount you received as loan proceeds is reportable as income because you no longer have the obligation to pay the lender. The lender is usually required to report that to you and the IRS on a Form 1099-C called a cancellation of debt. Now, here's a simplified example.
You borrow 10 grand and then later default on the loan after paying back, say, 2,000 bucks of it. If the lender is unable to collect that remaining debt from you, well, there's a cancellation of debt in the amount of 8 grand, which generally is taxable income to you. Okay, everyone up to speed? And I know that most of you guys already know this, but we're breaking this down for the homeowner that will end up seeing this in the end when you forward this to them. So stay with me here. So here's where it gets crazy. In talking with a local CPA, the CPA mentioned to me that banks are taking their sweet time in some cases filing these cancellations of debt. Why is this a problem? Well,
how about all those homeowners getting ready to file their 2012 tax returns and during the year they completed a short sale or a foreclosure and, for some reason they didn't get their 1099 cancellation of debt? They're in the clear, right?
No, they're not. Actually, quite the opposite. They should make sure that they receive their 1099 cancellation of debt and make sure they file it this year, as they'd be covered under the Mortgage Debt Relief Act and thus be covered under the Act's provision, which would in turn save them a lot of money. If the bank doesn't get this sent in a timely manner, and we have it on record that this is already happening, then the homeowner is forced to file that tax return without the cancellation of debt and then forced to file it a year later when the Mortgage Debt Forgiveness Act has expired, thus resulting in said homeowner paying quite a bit more in taxes, all due to laziness or an inefficient bank not sending out the cancellation of debt.
This is a huge deal and something I'm sure your past clients would love to hear about.
So what do you do if you're in this position?
Well, if I'm in that position, I'm getting on the phone with the bank requesting that they send me the 1099 cancellation of debt form right away so I can file it with my 2012 tax return and receive the full benefit of the Mortgage Debt Forgiveness Act.
Which is quite substantial, by the way, and we explain the benefits in a past show that you can watch down below if you missed it.
So, in a nutshell, if you owed $300,000 on your home and you short sold it for $200,000, the cancellation of debt would be 100 grand. Times that by your tax bracket, it could be as much as $30,000 you owe to the IRS.
Now you see why getting and filing the cancellation of debt 1099 is so important. Failing to do so due to lender or homeowner complacency could cost you quite a bit in the end. Because this is such a hot topic and there's so much at stake, we have literally dedicated an entire page to frequently asked questions. That page looks like this, and the link to it is down below. Look out for your friends, family, and past clients and forward them today's show and links. I'm sure they'll be happy that you sounded the alarm.